Hey guys, welcome back. This video is going to be a full detailed service on a Kubota ZD1211. It will also apply to many similar Kubota zero-turn models. I have a cart here full of all the replacement parts that we're going to be throwing into this thing. I will have chapters in the bottom of the video to skip to whatever part you need to see. If not, you can watch the whole thing if you're not familiar with any of it. So I have a list of all the things I'm going to do. The order is, first I'll do the air filters, then I'll do the engine oil and the engine oil filter. Then I will do the hydraulic oil, and there's 2 filters underneath there for that. I'll do the 3 fuel filters. I'll check all the grease zerks, and I'll show you where all those are. There's lots of grease zerks in this thing. Then I'll be replacing the blades, and then I'll be checking the mower deck gearbox, which is commonly overlooked on these machines. It only takes simple engine oil, and sometimes the seal on the bottom can go out, so you want to make sure your gearbox has the right amount of oil in it. I'll check the coolant level, check the tires, and make sure we have no problems with this thing. So let's get right into it. Air filter is probably the simplest thing to replace. 2 clamps. Pull this cover off. I'm going to blow that out. Out comes the primary filter, and then in here, counterclockwise, comes out the secondary filter. And then opposite, put in your brand new secondary filter clockwise. Take your brand new fresh primary air filter, slide it over the top. Make sure it's seated all the way. Reset. Don't forget to reset your button. And then blow this out. And then before you throw this cover back on, make sure this drain on the bottom is clear of any debris. Line up the arrows. And there you have it, your air filter. Next, we can move on to the engine oil. Here's your filter, model number HH150. And the oil I'm putting in is 10W30 Kubota oil. First thing to do with any oil change is drain out the old stuff. So I'll get under there and take that drain plug out. Looking at the bottom of the engine, here's your drain plug. It is a 9/16. Go ahead and crack that loose. Too much of a mess. Now I'm going to pull off the top fill port, and you'll see that the flow increases. All right, got my drain pan situated where it'll hit this. So one tip, I'd say remove this sensor cord so you don't end up breaking that connection off. And then use your oil filter wrench or whatever you got and loosen that up. Pop that off of there. Take your new filter, a little bit of oil on your finger, rub it around that O-ring. Make it easier to remove next time. New filter, screw it on there. And just hand tighten. There we go. So we put this plug back in, make sure your washer's still intact. Our flow is pretty much stopped, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. And just give it a little snug. Not too tight. Calls for 4.1 quarts of 10W30 engine oil. So I'll make my way up there and check the dipstick as I go. Alrighty, let's see how we're doing. Looks about perfect to me. First try. There we are. As you can see, about 2/3 of the way up that marking. That's right where you want to be. I'd say Here's the topper mark. I'd say you want to be about right there, which is where we are. Once I get this thing all put back together, I'll run it for a few minutes, or run it for 10 seconds, and then check that again to make sure it's still at that same level. All right, now that we completed the engine oil, let's move on to the hydraulic. There's one filter up here. This is your breather / fill port. There's a mesh screen inside of this little cap right there. Let's go ahead and remove that. We're gonna need to have that off. Underneath here is the hydraulic tank drain, as well as your diff drain. This is gonna be this one right here. And then same thing on the other side. The size socket for that is an 1 1/16 inch. And you're gonna want more than one drain pan because it's gonna hold a lot of fluid. So I had to have a backup drain pan ready to go. Go ahead and crack this loose. Yeah, that did happen. This is a real video. I'm showing you everything, not just the good. I'm showing you the bad too. But we're getting all soaked up, and we got the cap back on the bottom of the hydraulic tank. Now we can drain our diffs out. I have a feeling it's gonna, the bolt is right here. I have a feeling it's gonna splash this direction. So I'm gonna put a piece of cardboard there once I get the plug off. Put this in place. That way it'll all go into the pan here. Hopefully nothing bad happens to me. Oh, good thing I put that in there. Jeez, it's a lot of fluid. All right, that's all drained out. Put our bolt right back in. Okay, tighten it down. All right, there's one. I will now repeat the same process on this side. All right, after you have drained all 3 reservoirs, so you got your 2 axles, and then you have your middle main hydraulic tank. After those are all drained, put your plugs back in, tighten them down, make sure the crush washers are in good shape, and then you can remove your 2 filters and replace those. There's a filter here, and then I'll show you the filter underneath the best I can. So you come underneath the mower, and then right there is the other filter. Okay, I just removed the bottom filter and replaced it. Now I can move on to this top one, unscrew that. Hold up, I gotta put a drain pan underneath. Okay, put a pan underneath. Loosen this up. Actually lied, I wanna wipe that all off first. It's kind of a mess down there. I'm thinking maybe this filter was leaking. Okay, now let's remove this. A lot cleaner now. Take our brand new filter. A little bit of oil out of in here. Rub that in our O-ring. And then put it on. This actually has a torque spec, so as soon as this rubber hits, it wants a turn and a quarter. So that's a quarter, half, 1. As soon as this is up, it'll be a quarter. Once you get all your filters in, you can take this screen out of the top. That gives you a nice open port. Pull your dipstick out, and then that'll be where you fill it from. But before you start filling, these bolts on top of the case of the axles need to get removed to allow them to vent while the bottom is filling up. So as the bottom fills with fluid, air will come out the top. There's one on this side, as well as this side, right there. Okay, get yourself a funnel that fits down into there. And again, make sure this dipstick is removed because that will allow air to come out so you're not spilling everywhere. This is a 2-gallon bottle of trans-hydraulic fluid. So this is gonna work for this. Brand new sealed bottle. And you're gonna fill until fluid starts coming out of those bolts that you took out of the transaxles. So in order to get this to take the last, there's about 3 gallons to go into this, 12.8 quarts. So I need to put about 1 more gallon in, and it's not taking it. So I'm gonna crank this thing up for about 15 seconds or something just to get that fluid flowing. See if it'll take some more fluid. All right, yes, I made a mess again, but I filled it up and just barely some fluid started coming out of these little holes here. So I put those bolts back in on both sides. And I've been having to run this thing, crank it up about every half quart. So it's kind of a tedious process, or else you won't get an accurate measurement. So now I'm gonna do it again, run it, and then check my level on the dipstick, and then fill a little more, and just keep doing that cycle. It hasn't fully settled yet, so I can't take my reading. So I guess we just wait until it settles. After letting the machine rest a little bit, I was able to get the last quart in here, so I got all 12.8 quarts in here right now. One important thing I want to make sure you do is, see this little notch right here? You got to make sure that vent lines up so that it can breathe. This is basically a breather. So, and then make sure you push it down all the ways for that O-ring to seat, and then check your level after you drive it for a little bit. As you can see, I'm looking pretty dang good, right below that top notch. Put the seat down. There's a little latch right here. You gotta remember to pull that up to allow the seat to go down. And we can change our fuel filters. So the tools you're gonna need, in my case, I gotta cut these zip ties off because I don't have the right clamps. I already did the other side, but I'll show you how to do this side. I'm gonna use my vice grip to just pinch that off slightly. Pull that hose clamp on either side back. Gonna twist to get that to break free. Make your new filter. It's a lot bigger, actually. The genuine Kubota ones are actually a lot bigger. And since I got new clamps for this, I'm gonna go ahead and put those on first. Slide the hose on either side. And reinstall these clamps. You can remove the vice grip. Okay, these filters are all reinstalled. Clamps are attached. There's one more filter in the rear. Right here. Directly in line with the fuel. Cut the zip tie off. Jeez. I'm just going to clamp off this top side. You might need your pliers to kind of just twist it, break that loose. Clamp back on. Okay, this one back on. Hose clamp. Try and find a bolt that fits in that clamp. Found a screw that should work. Well, cross-threaded a little bit, but it's holding it there. There we go, it's attached. Once you get your filters changed, just cycle your key for a while until you don't start it right away, or else it's not going to have fuel. So cycle your key, it'll prime the fuel pump, and prime all these new filters that you installed. Get all the lines filled with diesel. Then it should crank right up, and that's your fuel filters. So next we can move on to the greasing. The only three I'm not going to grease right now are the blades, because we're going to change the blades. You want to grease those after you change the blades. Throw a pair of gloves on. I'm going to kind of try and do this with a purpose. So I'm going to start in the front, work my way back for every grease zerk. So your first grease zerks are going to be your wheels. So your spindle is going to have a grease zerk. Always wipe it off before you grease it, so you don't end up pushing the dirt into the grease. Just go until you see it coming out, and then down here at your wheel, there's going to be another one. There you go. That one took quite a bit. Your spindle. There's your spindles. Looking at the front of the machine, this is going to be, in my opinion, the most important grease zerk on this machine. And it's right up here, straight up. And you're looking at this is the pivot point of your front axle. Right up in here is your grease zerk. On that same topic, we have two zerks, one right there and one right there for the front deck lifter mechanism. They're gonna hide in the dirt, but they're right there. On each side of your deck, you're gonna have two front rollers here. There's gonna be two zerks. One on the top right here, and one on the wheel itself. They shouldn't take much because they're very small. You have one. As you can see, there's plenty of grease. Same thing on this side over here. I'm looking at the deck from the left side of the machine, on top of this pulley here. Like I said, don't worry about the mower deck yet. Commonly hard to see, there's a zerk right on the back of this bolt right here. Looking at your mower deck U-joint, there's going to be three zerks. One on here, one in the directly middle, and then one on the other side where it connects to the gear case. So you might have to spin your blades in order to get this to line up for you to grease it. One pump should be enough. Right here is the one that's in the middle. Up at my mess. Okay, I'm still on the left side of the mower. This is the rear deck lift point. Right underneath here, there's going to be a zerk right there. Moving over to the right side, there's going to be another grease zerk for the deck lift point. Right in there. With the seat lifted up, there are two that you can access from up here. Bam. And bam. On your mower deck linkage. So I'll get her hoisted up and we'll start working on the blades. Ready to get some jack stands under there. All right, it's a 1 3/16 inch socket. Just put it on there. Here goes your bolt. Drop her down. There's gonna be another collar here. It's gonna be full of gunk. Just knock it off. Take this cup, dump it out. Take this thing, dump all the crap out of it. Get your new blade. Put it up in here just like you did with your old one. Put this back inside of your cup. Put the cup up. Blade up. Make sure this collar here actually sits inside of the hole in the blade. If it doesn't, if your blade's like cockeyed like this, your blade will be loose. But you gotta line up the holes. Now it's all tight. One, two, I mean. There you have it. Make sure there's not too much buildup down here. If there is, scrape it off. I'm not seeing much, so I'm not going to worry about it. Doesn't really affect the performance that much. The way I do it is I have 3 sets of blades. Well, 3 on the wall and 1 on the mower, obviously. And that way, I always use this one in the fall. It mulches up the leaves better. And then I have 2 extras. I can have my grandpa sharpen them or me sharpen them, whatever. Then they're always... So I don't have any more sharpened ones. I need to get these all sharpened for the summer. Don't forget to come back and grease up your spindle. Or all 3 of them, I should say. So here's your Mower gearbox. I'll zoom in on it. Right here is your grease zerk. There's a little channel in the paint. You gotta clean that up before you grease it up, obviously. But that leads down to your spindle to grease it. This is the Mower gearbox. Down at the bottom, you will find your drain plug right here. This here is your dipstick, which you can check the fluid level. This thing is not very picky, it's just a gearbox, so you basically just want it to be full and not have too black of oil. So mine actually looks really good. So in order to check the level, you just pull the dipstick out, wipe it off, screw it all the way back in, and then screw it all the way back out. And then you can see that's how much oil. There's a little marking. I'm a little over, but I don't think it's too picky. So I'd rather err on the side of too much than too little. So that looks good. And it's not too black or anything. It's good looking oil. Check the tires, make sure they're in good shape. Looks good to me. Looks good to me. And there you have it. There you go, guys. That was a complete full service on this Kubota ZD1211. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. If I missed a grease zerk, if I put the wrong oil in something, please let me know. That'll really help me out. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. Make sure to give it a like. Share it with your friends. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Well, that was a mess.